Okay, let us begin. The rest will find us on the way if they make it. Let me try and see if I can remind them. Maybe they didn't see the link. Okay. So today we'll be looking at. We're still looking at the same topic, gaseous exchange, and we'll be looking at the alveoli. So we'll be looking at the alveoli. Later on, I will try to show you how you can access the course where I get all this content. I've already made this content into a course and units that you can always access at your own time. So I'll show you that towards the end of the lesson. And then we shall go through also how you can always attempt activities and hand them in via the interface that we use. Okay. Started on the wrong slide. Okay. So today we'll be looking at the alveoli. I don't know if you were around last time. We looked at gaseous exchange in mammals. Do you remember anything about that? Peter has also joined us. What is the respiratory surface that mammals use for gaseous exchange? That's the question. You must know it because we looked at it last time. What is the respiratory surface that mammals use to carry out gaseous exchange? Who remembers? Peter said the alveolus. That is correct. It is the alveolus. So the alveolus is the surface where gaseous exchange takes place. Okay. Where is the alveolus found in your body? For me, I believe it is the liver. What do you think? What is your opinion about that? For me, I think alveoli are found in the liver. What about you? Where do you think they are found? Let's see. Shreya says in the lungs. So Shreya differs from me. For me, I thought they were in the liver. She thinks they're in the lungs. That is correct. The alveoli are found in the lungs. Definitely not the liver, because we are talking about gaseous exchange, and gaseous exchange takes place in the lungs. Okay, that is correct. So that is some of the information we looked at last time. The lungs, how you inhale and exhale, which muscles contract, which muscles expand. If you don't remember those things, I would encourage you to go back and go through those notes that I sent. If you don't have them, you can always inbox me and I send them. But towards the lesson, the end of the lesson, I'll show you where they are on our website. I'll show you the course and the units. So make sure you don't go off for you to access that if you haven't accessed it already. So let's look at the alveoli. This is how they look like. Okay. That they're sort of circular, and there are very, very many to increase the surface area. For the gaseous exchange, they are surrounded by blood vessels. Who can tell me why they are surrounded by blood vessels? These blood vessels right there. Why is it necessary for them to have a lot of blood vessels surrounding them? Looked at the reasoning to that in the beginning, I think 3 weeks ago. So what is the reason for having all these blood vessels surrounding the alveoli? Let's see. Peter says to increase surface area for diffusion. Kristen says so that the blood vessels can transport the oxygenated blood in the body. That is all correct. The blood vessels are there to increase the rate of diffusion so that the gases that diffuse into and out of the blood vessel, into the blood vessels can be carried away immediately to allow continuous gaseous exchange. So we need to have that deficiency in the blood and then in the alveoli. That can only happen if the gases that are exchanged are immediately carried away. So that is very good. Good answer. Good job. So the alveolus, it is a sac-like structure. The outer surface of the alveolus is covered by a network of blood capillaries, like you have said. Alveolus is moist and thin-walled. Why is it moist and thin-walled? What is the reasoning between it being moist and thin-walled? Walled. Who can tell me? Who knows? You can always unmute and speak, or you can type in the chat box. Whatever you choose is okay. Let's see, someone has typed. Christian says, so that the blood vessels can transport oxygen in blood. Oh, you said that already. So that molecules can pass through easily. Okay, very good. Is there any other reason for being moist and thin-walled? So yeah, mostly the moisture allows the oxygen or the oxygen to be dissolved first into that moisture, then it can diffuse through, okay? And the thinness decreases the distance that oxygen or carbon dioxide has to travel through the alveolus, okay? So for the, we shall see a better picture where this is better explained. Let me try to highlight it. This part here has to be thin, okay? Thin-walled. This is the wall of the alveoli, alveolus. Has to be thin to decrease the distance that oxygen has to travel through the alveolus, oxygen and carbon dioxide, okay? So if that distance is decreased, that means there is a higher rate of diffusion, and that increases the efficiency of gaseous exchange. So that's the reasoning behind. So we know that now the oxygen comes through the ducts into the alveoli, and through the thin wall of the alveoli, oxygen travels into the blood vessels, all right? Same as carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide comes from the alveolus into the ducts, the alveoli ducts, and travel out through the bronchus and then through the trachea and then out of your body through the nostrils or the mouth, depending on how you're breathing. Okay, so that is the purpose of the alveoli gaseous exchange. Let's continue and see more details about this alveoli. or alveolus. So here is a more elaborate picture that I was talking about that can easily explain what I was saying. So as we can see, we have exchange of air at the duct here at the top. Okay, air is coming in, air is going out. The air that is going out is rich in carbon dioxide. The air that is coming in is rich in oxygen. Right? So let's look at the parts and then we can explain how the exchange occurs. We have the alveolus wall, which is right here. The alveolus wall, we said it has to be thin, not even that thick, but it is one cell thick. This means it is very, 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 very thin, because you know the size of a cell. The size of a cell is very, very small. So for any layer to be one cell thick, it means it's very thin, very, very thin. So that's the alveoli. It has a thin wall, which is one cell thick. Okay. Then let's look at another part. And see which other part is very prominent here. The water film here, we say the alveoli is moist. Okay, that water film is key in diffusing or dissolving the gases so that they can diffuse through easily. Then we have the blood capillaries. Okay, the blood capillaries. For example, this side we see that blood to the pulmonary vein, which is oxygenated. Okay, so the pulmonary vein is heading to. Where does the pulmonary vein head to? Who knows? Where is it heading to? Who knows? Let's see, someone has typed in the heart. Yes. So the pulmonary vein is heading to the heart to make sure that the heart pumps it to the rest of the body, because now it is done. It is done to get oxygen. Okay, the purpose of the pulmonary vein is to make sure that it brings oxygen to the heart, then the heart pumps it out to the rest of the body. Okay, then we have the blood from the pulmonary artery. It is coming from the heart, bringing the oxygenated blood. So we have here deoxygenated blood, or deoxygenated red blood cells that are coming in through the pulmonary artery. All right. So these capillaries are passing via the alveoli, and as they pass, oxygen diffuses through, so that the red blood cells can become oxygenated. Hemoglobin starts picking up oxygen around here. By the time the blood gets to this side, it is really, really oxygenated. But as well, there is a deficiency of carbon dioxide here. Okay, so that means carbon dioxide will move out. All right, to remove out because there is a deficiency there. There is a deficiency of oxygen in the blood that is coming, of course, from the heart. Therefore, there is high oxygen here, and when there is high oxygen inside the alveoli, then it diffuses into the blood capillaries. Remember how diffusion works, from region of high concentration to region of low concentration. That's how it works. Same thing here, carbon dioxide gets out because there is high carbon dioxide in the blood that is in the arteries and the capillaries here, and low carbon dioxide in the alveoli. So therefore, from high concentration to low concentration, right? So by the time that blood gets here, it is oxygenated blood. It has a high content of oxygen and very, very low or even now content of carbon dioxide. So therefore, it is headed to the heart to be pumped out to the rest of the body where oxygen is required. Okay. That's how the alveoli works. Okay. Remember its properties. It is very moist due to this water film here. Okay, the water film. And then it is 1 cell thick. Its walls are 1 cell thick. Very thin. Like I said, the cell is very, very small. So for any wall or any membrane to be 1 cell thick, it means it is very thin, very, very thin. Okay, so that's key to remember. Those are the things that I would love you to remember. Then the capillaries that surround the alveolus, we have them coming from the pulmonary artery with deoxygenated blood, and then heading into the pulmonary vein where they have already picked up oxygen. So the red blood cells are very, very oxygenated. So the blood that comes through here it has some sort of color. Which color is that? When blood is rich in carbon dioxide, which color does it pick up? Does anyone know? Let me see, someone has typed blue. Kristen, yes, it is blue. So it is bluish. By the time it gets this side, it is very red, okay? Meaning the hemoglobin has already been oxidized, okay? So that's the trick right there. That's the trick. That's what I want you to master on the alveoli. It's very, very simple. It looks complicated when you look at it, but it's very, very simple. Do you have any questions? Maybe something you'd love me to repeat, something you've not understood. Any questions or concerns? Okay, someone has a question. Let's see. Okay, Christine is good. Is there anyone with a question? Shreya, do you have a question? Peter, do you have a question? Okay, good. So everyone is fine. All right. Good job. So that's it. That's the science behind the alveolus. So the other thing for us to really note, we have already talked about it, but it's okay. We can always repeat. Gaseous exchange takes place across the walls of the alveoli and the blood capillaries by diffusion. During inspiration, air is taken into the lungs, filling the alveoli. This air contains more oxygen and low carbon dioxide concentration, like we have said. Oxygen in inspired air dissolves in the moisture of the alveoli. Okay, remember the alveoli is moist with that water film to dissolve those gases, especially oxygen. The epithelium and the alveolar epithelium and diffuses across this and capillary walls into the red blood cells of blood. Inside the red blood cell, oxygen combines with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. That's important to note. So hemoglobin turns into oxyhemoglobin and carried in this form. At the same time, carbon dioxide, which is carried as bicarbonate ion, the bicarbonate ion, in the blood diffuses through it, through the capillary walls into the alveoli. It leaves the lungs in expired air. Okay. So the thing to note here is the fact that when oxygen is absorbed by the red blood cells, it gets into the center of the red blood cells where we find hemoglobin. The hemoglobin is converted into oxyhemoglobin, which carries the oxygen to the rest of the body where it dissociates there, and then oxygen goes into the muscles where it is required. The bicarbonate ion is the form in which carbon dioxide is carried in blood. Okay, and then it diffuses through the capillary walls into the alveoli and then expired out through the bronchi, the trachea, and out of your nostrils. That's how it works. Okay. So that is also important to understand at this stage. Okay. So let's look at the volumes carried by the blood. So let's look at nitrogen. Nitrogen is not required in the body. We don't use it for anything. The nitrogen that we need is carried in a different form, not in a gaseous form. Therefore, here, the one that gets into the lungs, as you can see, the amount that gets into the lungs is about 0.9 cc. And the amount that gets out is the same, 0.9 cc. It's not utilized at all. The amount of oxygen that enters your lungs is 10.6 cc. And then leaving the lungs is 19.0 cc. The amount of carbon dioxide, 58. Okay. And then leaving 50.0 cc. So it is important to note that. What is cc? That's a measurement. It's a measurement of volume. It's a unit, like you hear centimeters cubed. When you don't say centimeters cubed, you can always say cc's, but cc's are smaller. You can always find out the units. I have forgotten the units, how much cc's weigh, or what their value is compared to cubic centimeters or cubic meters. So you find that out for me. Okay. All right. Okay. The other thing that we need to talk about is the exchange. About the blood that flows towards the lungs. How comes when oxygen leaves the lungs, it is more the carbon dioxide that leaves is this. We are going to look at the reasoning behind that. Don't worry. So let's talk about the blood that flows towards the lungs. It contains a high volume of carbon dioxide and less oxygen. But as it leaves the lungs, oxygen is added into it and some carbon dioxide is given off in the lungs. This indicates exchange of gases within the lungs. Okay. Now here we're seeing the sort of the air, the airflow that happens. We have oxygen getting into the blood vessels, and then carbon dioxide getting out. Okay. Now there is a net loss. There is a certain loss of, for example, not all. I'm going to try to answer this in the simplest way possible. Not all oxygen that goes into the alveoli is taken into the blood. Okay, not all of it. Some of it is going to be lost as the carbon dioxide gets out. Remember, there is air coming in, right? And air still getting out at the same time here, okay? Inspiration and expiration. So it's almost, there is an exchange right there. There's ventilation, right? And so that means that some oxygen is going to be lost back. It's going to go back with the carbon dioxide, all right? It's going to go back with the carbon dioxide. Same here inside the blood vessels, not all carbon dioxide is going to diffuse out. That is not true. Not all the carbon dioxide is going to diffuse out. Some of it is gonna continue to be it will diffuse out on another level or on another alveoli, or to continue throughout the blood and come back later. So there is the efficiency. Let's talk about that. The efficiency of the alveoli. It is not 100%. Okay, it is not 100%. Also, we could have a scenario where some oxygen could be lost, okay, at this level here. All right, because not all the blood that comes in through the this capillary here, that it lacks entirely of oxygen. Okay, so there is some net loss that we need to study at a higher level to understand the efficiency of the alveoli. That's why there is a disparity in the volumes that you lose or that leave the lungs and that enters the lungs. The disparity is there because of the efficiency of the alveoli. The efficiency is not 100%. So that is important for us to understand. Okay, this is a great system, but it's not that much efficient to be at 100%. I don't know the exact efficiency, but you can always research that and then find out what is the efficiency of an alveoli or alveolus. Okay, but that's the easiest explanation I can give on why you might find that we have less carbon dioxide going out than the one that entered. Okay, because we have other processes that carbon dioxide gets out of the body. Those other processes in digestion, right? It is why also we can explain that not all the oxygen that goes in is utilized. Okay, some of it is lost to the atmosphere. So it's all about explaining the efficiency of the alveolus. Okay, at a higher level, we can always study it. Another component that we should look at is the changes in the approximate air composition during breathing. So let's look at the component here. Nitrogen, we inhale about 79%, which is always in the atmosphere, and then we exhale about 79%. Oxygen, we inhale 21%, which is the percentage in the atmosphere, and then we exhale about 17%. So the air that comes out of our lungs has only 17% of oxygen. Okay. Carbon dioxide is 0.03% in the atmosphere, but we inhale a whopping 4%. That's a lot. It's a huge increase from 0.03 to 4%. So there's a lot of carbon dioxide we exhale. Water vapor is a less saturated variable. It changes depending on the weather of the day. Here it is a little bit saturated. Okay. We have a number that I would say a variable that is that we can measure, all right? But also depends. Temperature, atmospheric temperature, body temperature. So when, for example, it is 27 degrees Celsius in the atmosphere, the temperature of the air we breathe out will be in accordance to our body temperature, because we have what we call homeostasis. We regulate our own body temperature. Our body temperature does not depend on the atmospheric temperature. So this component is not that much affected. Okay. So those are the components. The key here to note is about oxygen and carbon dioxide. These are the variables for you to put emphasis on understanding. Those are the two variables that are key. Okay. Remember, you can always ask questions, you can type them in or unmute and ask. Although nitrogen is exchanged within the lungs and blood plasma, it plays no part in chemical reactions in the body, hence the composition remains the same in inspired and expired air. Inhaled air is more rich in oxygen compared to exhaled air because it takes up the process of respiration, which produces out carbon dioxide. Hence, exhaled air contains more carbon dioxide than inhaled air. However, the process of gaseous exchange in alveoli does not remove all the carbon dioxide and oxygen in the air. This is what I was trying to explain on the efficiency of the alveoli. Okay, and not all the carbon dioxide is removed, all right, and also not all the oxygen is taken up. So that is important to note in terms of efficiency. Okay, that explains the disparity in the volumes. Okay, why the other volume can be less and the other one higher. We only take in what we can, okay, depending on what our body wants. So I have a video here. Let me first try to share my volume so that when you're watching this video, you can hear the sound. Okay. So this one is about gaseous exchange in alveoli. Everything that I've explained, this video is a visual to help us even understand it better. That is super fast. I don't know why it is this fast. Okay, let's try that again. If it doesn't work, I'll share itself individually. Okay, let me try sharing it where it is, and then we can watch it. Let's see. Okay, let me try sharing it in a different setting because I really need us to watch it to be able to visualize exactly what I was talking about. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me share again and then we can watch it. I'm ready. Started playing it. Okay, let me play it a little bit so that you can tell me if you can hear the volume, okay? So you can type in there if you hear anything.
Gaseous exchange refers to the process.
Have you heard anything? Let's see. Did you guys hear anything? Okay, okay. You said yes. All right, let's play it then.
Gaseous exchange refers to the process of oxygen and carbon dioxide moving between the lungs and blood. Air passes into the lungs via bronchi, bronchioles, and then into alveoli. This is where gaseous exchange takes place. Alveoli are individual hollow cavities contained within alveolar sacs or ducts. There are approximately 3 million alveoli within an average adult lung. They have very thin walls, which permit the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide gases. A network of small blood vessels called capillaries, into which the inspired gases pass, surrounds alveoli. Diffusion occurs when molecules move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. This occurs during gaseous exchange because the blood in the capillaries surrounding the alveoli has a lower concentration of oxygen than the air in the alveoli, which has just been inhaled. Because both alveoli and capillaries have walls which are only 1 cell thick, this allows gases to easily diffuse from one to the other. The same happens in reverse with carbon dioxide, CO2. The blood in the surrounding capillaries has a higher concentration of CO2 than the inspired air. Therefore, CO2 diffuses the other way, from the capillaries into the alveoli, where it can then be exhaled or breathed out. We can see the results of gaseous exchange from comparing air we breathe in with the air we breathe out. For more information or to test yourself with our interactive quizzes, visit teachpe.com. To the alveoli, where it can then be exhaled or breathed out. We can see the results of gaseous exchange from comparing air we breathe in with the air we breathe out.
Okay, so that's the simple explanation of how gaseous exchange occurs, how it occurs in the alveoli. So that's the 3D explanation or animation of the gas entering the alveoli and the exchange between the blood capillaries and the walls of the alveoli. So that's it that I prepared for you. I want us to go now and look at the course that I want you to try and start. So this is the course here that where I uploaded everything that we need for the whole year of Senior 3, just in case every time I share, for example, an assignment, I'll always share a link to a unit that is in this course that you can go and access. Have you guys subscribed to this course yet? Has anyone accessed it yet amongst you? Peter, you have accessed it? And Christine. Okay, good. So it looks like this. I remember how it looks like. All my courses are always with this type of picture, this yellowish thing. So you can always go and access it. Just go here and say start course, and then you can observe everything else. And this course, you'll find various units. Let's look at some of the curriculum. So it will always bring you here, and you can always choose which unit you want to look at. So far we've been on gaseous exchange, okay, which is about to end. Inside this unit of gaseous exchange, we have activities there, and also an assignment that you can start working on. These are the units that we have to do for the year you've signed up for, okay? So you can always go through. If you have a specific unit that you would love to look at, you can always let me know. Remember, this is self-paced learning, okay? You don't have to go by my beats. You can always tell me, teacher, for me, I feel like locomotion in birds would be great for us to cover. If you say so, and all the other members are in agreement, we start looking at locomotion in birds, okay? If you say coordination in animals is sometimes hard to understand. Can we go through that? I'll always be glad for us to go through it and do the exercises, the activities, and the assignments. Okay, so go through the course, look at all these units, find out the ones that you would love to cover most or cover first, and we can always cover them, right? Or if you just want us to go chronologically, one by one, we finish gaseous exchange, we go to tissue respiration like that, we can always also do that, all right? So I'm up for anything that you guys want, right? I'm going to teach you based on your needs, not on my wants or not on what I've arranged. My arrangement and my needs do not matter here. It is yours that do matter, okay? So let me know, go through it. This is how it looks like. Go here, say start course, and then you can access all these, all right? Once you access them, then you can go through them and let me know what you guys want. I believe yesterday you were taken through how you can always submit assignments and quizzes. In case I give you an assignment, how you can submit it. Did you guys attend that session at around 5? Who attended? You can always raise your hand or say yeah. Okay, Christian attended, so you know how to send me assignments once I give you one. Sharia attended. Who else attended? Hope, did you attend? You even came late. I don't know what you have been doing. Peter, did you attend? Okay, so everyone attended. That means you guys know how to send me assignments. I always look at them in my messages. Okay, so you go to messages where you have this interface here, and then create a message and then send me that assignment, attach it. All right. So that's what I wanted to show you. I didn't have that. Okay, no, it's okay, Hope. I'm going to send out these notes so you can go through them. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for today. This is what I wanted you to know and to cover. Did you receive the chemistry assignment? I'm going to check. Peter, if you did the chemistry assignment, I'll check. Most of you haven't sent me the chemistry assignment. Please make sure you do it and send it. All of you promised that you were going to do it. So please send it. I want to take a look. So I'll check after here. I didn't receive the assignment. Did you check in the group? I sent it in the group, Kristen. Go check in the group. It is there. If you don't see it, message me. I'll see it and then send it to you. I had some problems sending. I'll check my messages and see if you sent it. Okay. I'm not sure if I've signed in with my my student account or teacher account, so I may not see the message. Yeah, I don't think so. This is a student one, so I'll access the one that is for instructor and then see those messages. Could you send it to my Gmail? Okay, you can WhatsApp me your mail and I'll send it to you. No problem. All right, good job for today, unless you have any questions. Send it on WhatsApp. I can't really utilize this. Let me try copying it anyway. Okay, I've copied it. Then I'll try to send you the assignment. So utilize this interface very well. Send me a message here anytime you want. I'll always see it, and we can always see what to do. Okay, you don't have WhatsApp. That's fine. That's okay. I'll send it via email. All right, well done. I will see you soon, probably next week. Good job. There's no assignment for biology apart from the one I've given you to go through the course. See the assignments in the unit we have been doing, gaseous exchange. And then next week, I'll let you let me know, and then we shall start working on those assignments. I'll show you the things that I want to show in that assignment for you to do, the instructions and all that. Then you start doing those assignments in the unit that we have been covering. And we shall complete it, I think, very, very, very soon, so that we can now start covering whatever you want, the units that are in this course. Okay, good job. I will see you soon. Do you have any other questions? All right, bye. All done. So teacher, we should go through gaseous exchange. That's what I've been going through for the last 4 weeks. And we are completing it very soon. But you can also go through it if you want, is what you're asking. Yeah, go through that unit, because everything that in that unit, most of it we have covered. We are only left with a few. So you can always go through it. Next week, I'll give you instructions on the assignment that is attached there. Okay, that's all. If I give you the instructions, then you can start doing the assignment, and now you know how to submit. The ones that are the assignments that are attached on the course are very easy to submit. All right, good question, Hope. I will see you soon, unless you have any other question. All right, bye. Have a nice day.